Have you ever felt like success is always one step ahead of you, just close enough to see, but never close enough to touch? Like the world moves, people grow, opportunities appear, but something inside you stays stuck. If you have ever felt that weight on your chest, if you've ever stared at your ceiling at 3:17 a.m. wondering why life hasn't started yet, then stay with me. Because this story might be the moment everything changes for you. There was a young man named Eli Turner, 28 years old, born in Ohio, living in a cramped apartment on the edge of Chicago. A job that drained him, dreams that haunted him, and a fear that controlled him. His life was a routine of alarm clocks, endless emails, cold coffee, and quiet disappointment. He wanted to be someone powerful, someone remembered, someone victorious. But his reality felt like quicksand. The harder he tried to escape, the deeper he sank. Every morning he promised himself, tomorrow I'll start fresh. But tomorrow always looked exactly like yesterday. His bank account was thin, his confidence thinner, his hope fragile like cracked glass. One Friday night, after a long shift, he walked into a small used bookstore to escape the noise inside his head. Rows of forgotten pages, dust floating in the warm light. And there, on a bottom shelf, he saw a worn-out book. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. He picked it up without knowing why. Maybe destiny has a strange way of pulling the right pages into your hands when your soul is tired enough to listen. He bought it. No plan, no expectation, just a quiet curiosity. That night, in his dim apartment, Eli opened the book to the first chapter. The first line shook him. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. He didn't know why he felt something break inside him, a crack of possibility, a whisper of truth he had ignored for years. He kept reading. The book spoke of desire, not wish, not hope, but a burning obsession that becomes the engine of destiny. It spoke of faith, a mental state you build, not something you wait for. It spoke of autosuggestion, rewiring your mind one thought at a time. It spoke of specialized knowledge, of taking what you know and turning it into power. It spoke of persistence, the trait that separates winners from the forgotten. And it spoke of the mastermind, the power of aligning with people who lift you. Something inside him awakened. He had been living small, surviving, shrinking. But this book whispered, you can be so much more. He wrote his first goal in the back of the book. Earn $100,000 within 18 months doing something meaningful. Then the world tested him, because every dream invites a storm. On Monday, his boss called him. Budget cuts, projects canceled, layoffs coming. Fear shot through him. But for the first time in his life, he didn't collapse. He didn't beg. He didn't panic. Instead, he whispered to himself, I will control my mind. I will not let fear decide my future. That night he crafted a plan. He remembered the book's lesson. Money flows to specialized knowledge. What skill did he secretly hold? He knew analytics. He understood patterns. He could see what others overlooked. He decided he would freelance as a data strategist for small businesses. But the moment he began, reality slapped him. His first proposal was rejected. His second ignored. His third mocked. 3 failures in 2 days. And the old Eli, the defeated Eli, began to rise again. You're not made for this, the voice whispered. You're just pretending. You will fail like always. He almost listened, almost quit, almost surrendered. But that night, flipping through the book again, he saw a line he had highlighted. Most people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. He sat in silence, shaking, breathing, gathering what little courage he had left. He made a decision. I will not stop. Not now. Not again. The next morning, he tried again. Failure. Next day. Failure. Next week. More silence than answers. But something strange was happening. Each failure hurt a little less. Each setback felt less personal. Each rejection became feedback, not judgment. Persistence was shaping him. The book had said it would. Then came the moment everything cracked open. 3 months after he began, Eli got an email from a small logistics company. They liked his pitch. They wanted a meeting. He walked in wearing his only blazer, shaking but determined. He spoke honestly. He explained how he could increase efficiency, cut costs, analyze data patterns. And for the first time, someone believed in him. They hired him for a short-term contract. $3,000, the most he had ever made at once. It felt like oxygen, not because of the money, but because the dream suddenly felt real. He doubled his efforts. He read the book every night. He repeated affirmations in the mirror. I am becoming powerful. I am worthy of wealth. I can create my future. Slowly, something in his identity shifted. He was no longer a man begging life to change. He was a man shaping life with his thoughts. New clients came, slow at first, 1 per month, then 2, then 5. His income grew. 3,000, 8,000, 15,000, 27,000. He upgraded his tiny apartment. But his biggest change wasn't material. It was internal. His belief, once fragile as paper, was now steel. But life always tests those who rise. Just when his business started growing, a corporate client sued him for an error he didn't make. A mistake on their end. But they blamed him to cover their loss. It shook him. He faced lawyers, documents, stress. Old fears returned to haunt him. You see, you can't handle success. You're not built for this. You were lucky, nothing more. His chest tightened. His breath sharpened. The world spun again. But then something inside him quieted. A voice. A memory. A truth from the book. Your only limitations are those you set up in your own mind. He stood tall. He fought the case, with calm, truth, and evidence. The company backed down. The lawsuit dropped. Reputation restored. Confidence reborn. And then, as if the universe was waiting for that breakthrough, something incredible happened. A major tech startup reached out. They had seen his case study online. They wanted him as their permanent data strategy consultant. A yearly contract worth $120,000. Eli stared at the number. Tears filled his eyes. Because he remembered the night, months ago, when he wrote that same number in the back of the book with trembling hands. He had manifested it through desire, through faith, through persistence, through the power of his mind. He flew to San Francisco to sign the contract. As he sat on the plane, watching the city lights rise beneath him, he whispered, I did this. Me. Not luck, not chance, my mind. But the greatest transformation was still coming. One evening, as he walked along the bay, he felt a strange peace. Not excitement, not adrenaline, just a calm knowing. He understood the real message of the book. Riches are not money. Riches are not cars, houses, or applause. Riches are the quiet power inside you that wakes up the moment you decide to stop living small. He stopped chasing success like it was running away. He started attracting it because he had become the kind of person who believes deeply, acts boldly, persists fiercely. He did not become wealthy the moment he earned money. He became wealthy the moment he realized, my thoughts create my world. Silence washed over him as the sun dipped behind the Golden Gate Bridge. And in that orange glow, he finally understood. He hadn't just grown rich. He had grown powerful. He had grown wise. He had grown into himself. If you felt even one spark of Eli's journey, stay close. There are stories that change you, not because they entertain you, but because they remind you who you could become if you stopped doubting your own power. And maybe, somewhere inside this story, you saw a glimpse of your future self waiting to rise.